It's over. It is finally over. It is Monday, August 28th. I just shook my entire makeshift desk here. Can you hear me, Ken Flo?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you, dog.
I mean, is it bad that that's my sentiment? I can't wait to talk about it, but thank God it's over. Monday, August 28th, 2017. This is episode 121 of the Anakin Florian podcast. Thank y'all for being here. Ken Flo is in studio. He is early today. Flo, the money fight is in the can, and thankfully I got to watch it on pay-per-view. 78 minutes into the pay-per-view, finally got it here in South Florida.
Dude, that's scary. Yeah, I think a lot of people had problems watching the fight. There was such a demand. It was that crazy where so many people wanted to watch the fight where it was basically like overheating all the message boards or something. Yeah. I don't know what the hell was happening, but yeah, it was crazy, man. I guess we'll probably still be talking about this fight for another week or so, but so it's not completely over, John. We can't relax that much, but yeah, man. I mean, it was a good fight though. It was a good fight. We're gonna get into it, but I mean, yeah, I definitely won't have to talk to as many people in the supermarket, which is nice. That
is true. So, and in Southern California, you got to pay for your grocery bags even out there at supermarkets you shop at, I'm sure.
And all of them are experts, by the way. I didn't tell you. They're all professional boxers and former mixed martial arts fighters.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to get to that, your tweet. I'm always impressed by all the tough people on Twitter who act like they were the ones who won the professional contest, I think is how you put it.
Yeah.
But, dude, like, thankfully, the greatest living American, Brian Stan, stood me up and didn't come to my house. Because you imagine you got 15, 20 people here, right, and the pay-per-view go like, dude, I got a buddy in New Haven, Connecticut, right? Like, wasn't able to watch the fight. That's a big deal, right? Like this, we're billing this as like one of the greatest sporting events of our lifetime, and then to not be able to watch it. So, thankfully, I was able to use Twitter and social media to get in touch with someone, and they reset the system, and the pay-per-view came on, and all was good. But Kenny, you know, people have such strong opinions on this fight and how it played out relative to their expectations going in, and all of that stuff is good. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people with their opinions don't want the debate or pushback that comes with it, but we're going to get into all that. We'll talk to our good friend Brendan Schaub. Of course, he was a part of Showtime's coverage during fight week. We'll get to his thoughts on Mayweather's win, of course, McGregor's performance, his little dust up there with Nate Diaz. Not sure exactly what that was. Maybe we'll even talk to him about the John Jones news, time permitting. That happened since we were last on the air. We'll also talk to former NBA first-round draft pick Boston Knockbar, massive UFC fan. And he didn't love that Celtics trade for Kyrie Irving last week for Boston. So I'm going to challenge him on that. We're going to grab Ray Longo, I think, from JFK for a minute. He has some strong opinions, Flo. I talked to him this morning. You know when he calls me show day, Ken Flo?
Yeah.
Ray is ready to sound off. So we'll talk to Ray here coming up in about an hour. But we start with the money team. Let's get to
headlines.
It's time for headlines.
I have some very urgent and important breaking news.
Headlines
on the John Anik and Kenny Florian podcast.
Money, 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 money team. Money, 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 money team. Money, 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 money team. Money, money, money team.
Can't throw the money team. Floyd Mayweather does it again. Just a brilliant athlete. And you heard me say a lot coming up to the fight that this is a guy who's never been flat on fight night 49 times. And again, right, with seemingly all the pressure on him to hold serve for his sport, for his legacy, I mean, ice water in his veins doesn't even begin to describe it for me. And even if you want to say that the McGregor option as a matchup was the path of least resistance, Floyd Money Mayweather, man, all-time great. Give me top 5 all-time.
No, absolutely. I mean, all the pressure was on Floyd Mayweather, and you know, there's levels to this game. And again, anytime you're fighting a specialist, okay, anytime you're fighting a specialist in their domain, and then you're fighting the best guy of that special sport, like you're not going to be able to get the win. It's going to be very difficult. Mayweather, one of the best boxers we've ever seen, period. Look at the career. I mean, look at everyone he's beaten. Boxing evolves. Any type of combat evolves. So you can't compare the boxers of today versus the boxers of 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. What he did, all right, just being at 49-0 is still, in my opinion, more impressive than what Rocky Marciano did. I know fighting at heavyweight was a little bit different back then, and obviously getting hit by heavyweight punches is more dangerous than getting hit by someone who weighs around 145 pounds. But still, nonetheless, this sport has evolved. I mean, the knowledge that we have now in boxing of how to approach a camp, the conditioning regimen, the athletes are much better in today's boxing world. So what Floyd Mayweather has done, I don't know if we'll ever see a boxer like Floyd Mayweather ever again. And he knew that. And listen, I thought Conor fought extremely well. I don't think there's anyone in and around Floyd Mayweather's weight class that could have done what Conor McGregor did. However, if I'm being completely honest, when I watched the fight, I was extremely quiet because as I watched those first 4 rounds that Conor McGregor won, or at least the very first 3 that Conor won, to me, it was a Floyd Mayweather that was kind of carrying Conor in this fight. He was extending the fight, in my opinion, and kind of just playing out there. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, he did that, so, Conor would tire himself out. He'd get tired out throwing all those punches. It's more than that, though. In my opinion, Floyd only threw 6 punches in the first round, not only because he was trying to see what Conor had, and not only because he was trying to maybe tire Conor out, but to me, he wanted the fight to go longer. He was playing along with Conor almost like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt would with a blue belt, just kind of playing with it. And it's no disrespect to Conor. I'm not saying that Conor is this blue belt. He's still a very dangerous fighter. But when it comes to boxing, Floyd is just at a completely different level. Are you telling me that Floyd would have that same approach against another professional boxer like a Canelo? That he would allow himself to get hit like that, and that he would only throw 6 punches in that round against someone like Conor moving forward? He didn't throw his right hand very much in the fight, but when he did, he landed. And you could see it as the fight goes on, he started throwing more punches. And all those punches that he did throw, he was landing at a much higher percentage than Conor was. So if I'm being real, I think, again, Floyd was kind of playing along and trying to entertain the fans more than anything else. That was not necessarily a game plan approach. It was more, I'm so fucking comfortable with boxing that I can chill and relax against this guy in his first professional boxing fight.
Now, Floyd in the past, Kenny, has been convicted in saying, I'm going to entertain the fans. But he hasn't always been convicted pre-fight in saying, I'm going to knock the other guy out, right? He said profusely before this fight that the judges would not be needed. And I'm no boxing expert, but it does seem like everything Floyd did had purpose. Middle of the fight, early in the fight, any time of the fight. Now, Conor landed 111 punches. So on paper, more than guys like Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto. Mayweather did not have a scratch on him. Didn't seem to be a lot of power shots in there. And, some people have gone back and watched the film and now are suggesting that, maybe the number was less than 111. I mean, you and I have talked at length about stats and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But is there any meat to those 111 punches? Does that mean anything that he landed more punches than guys like Manny Pacquiao? Tough question, right?
You can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't compare that to the other guys. I mean, the fact that he landed more punches than a guy like Canelo and Pacquiao, and you can't really equate that because, again, for me, Floyd wasn't trying in those early rounds. I truly believe that. And again, this is no disrespect to Conor. There's no way any other fighter would be able to do as well. I thought, as far as punches landed for Conor, that uppercut that he landed early in the fight was beautiful. I thought it landed nice and clean. I don't think Floyd expected that or was giving him that punch. However, to me, it looked like Floyd was just kind of playing out there and extending the fight for the fans. That's the way I saw it.
Well, and in those early rounds, right, you can't really bring up the Sugar Shane Mosley comparison because in those early rounds, Mosley dropped Floyd, stunned him twice, right? So even though Conor McGregor outlanded on paper Shane Mosley, when you look at those two fights, Shane Mosley got more done against Floyd Mayweather than Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So, I have no problem, at least because this is our show, admitting what I was wrong on. And again, I'm certainly not the boxing expert here. I guess I thought Conor's power can flow and his physicality would be factors in the fight. They really weren't. Right. I guess I was a bit foolish perhaps in thinking that Conor was going to be the guy to land that seminal blow that no other boxer had landed on Floyd Mayweather. But I was pleasantly surprised to see Mayweather pursue the knockout, right? Came in last 14 wins dating to 2006, 12 decisions, and one of the 2 non-decisions was the Victor Ortiz knockout, right? So he obviously thought, Kenny, in this matchup there were going to be things that he could do, and he went out and did all of them.
Yeah, no doubt. And here's the thing. The striking approach to mixed martial arts is so different than the striking approach to boxing. First of all, let's just take away the fact that you have many more weapons in mixed martial arts. But the way that you throw your punches, you don't have to put as much into your punches when you have mixed martial arts gloves. Just one shot can knock you out or cut you and all those things. So it's a completely different approach, especially the way you carry your hands, especially the way that you move and set things up. A lot of things are predicated off the other strikes that you can throw with knees and kicks and all that stuff. So Conor obviously was at a major disadvantage. And, again, it just simply was not his specialty. Just to go out there and box against one of the best ever, if not the best ever in his domain, obviously was a great uphill battle. And for me, I just feel like, again, if Floyd was to fight Conor, I don't think it would last more than 2 minutes. There's no way it would. And I think that's where we saw the stoppage, is that it was Conor's first professional boxing match. It's a very different thing. The same thing. If Floyd Mayweather was mounted by Conor and ate like 2 or 3 punches, they would step in a lot quicker because Floyd wouldn't have the capacity to defend himself like another guy who has years and years of grappling skill. And it was the same thing here, and I think that's why they stopped the fight a little bit early. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, John, with the conversation, but again, I think because he didn't have that experience, the referee was quick to jump in, and I think rightfully so. Those are 8-ounce gloves against a very sharp puncher in Floyd Mayweather. Those things were landing clean. Conor's hands were down. He was exhausted, eating shots, and